Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to yet another video brought to you by Pioneer Power Sports. This is Max again, and this time we're talking about this TAO motor TBR7 250cc motorcycle. And as you can see, it's a complete enduro, can fit up to 2 people, and has pretty nice L-shaped GY6 engine in it. Has about 5 speed on your transmission, so it's a clutched bike. And it's completely street legal. You have the mirrors on the side lights, high beam and low beam, turn signals in the back, and a pretty nice LED brake light as well. Now let's get into further details on this bike, guys. Now, if you guys are looking for any 250s or any enduro bikes, you might want to watch this video because it's a very sweet bike and it's almost a steal for the price that TAO Motor has thrown on this machine. We, as a dealership, can get it down to as low as $12.99 on your starting price. So that's a better price than any other bike that you can find with these many features on it. And TAO Motor produces these in like a big volume, like big bulk. That's why it's like priced so low. Quality-wise, you get everything that you need on a beginner-style bike or a daily commuter 250cc motorcycle. Now, we've heard and we've read a lot of comments that people have made on so many of our bikes. Most of them are good reviews and honest opinions, and only few people compared it with like $10,000 bike and call it something lesser. So I mean, it's a $12.99 bike for what it is, and for the price you get a lot more feature than what you can find on anything that's about like that price if you're getting something brand new. So if you've seen our Hawk 250s, Hawk X250, and the Trailmaster T5, these are like similar category bike, out of which the Hawk 250 is one of the best selling models because it comes with that off-road tire on it. They came up with the Hawk X, which is roughly about just $200-300 more than the Hawk 250 or more than the TBR7. So you're getting a little bit of combined feature of both the Hawk X and the regular Hawk 250 on this bike. You still have something more on it, like your hand grips, your knuckle guard, your hand grips, and similar other stuff. Makes it a little bit better choice for the price. They're not saying like the Hawks and RPS bikes are bad. This is just one other option, one extra option for people who like this style on it. Alright, so let's look into the details on this bike. Starting with your front wheels, you get the street legal ATT style tire on it. Mostly street legal, that can go through some off-road terrain as well. So you're not looking at complete dirt bike style off-road tires. That's on the Hawk 250, the regular model. The Hawk X still comes with that kind of tire on it. The front looks like 19. Let's take a look at the measurements on it. 90 by 19. In the back, they mostly make it like 2 inches smaller, so it should be 17 and slightly wider. So yep, 130 80 by 17. Completely DOT tires, both front and the back. Looking at just the overall looks of this machine, you get pretty nice plastic fairings all the way around. It comes in 3 major colors on it. This one is the white with the blue. They also make it in a solid green. That's more like a Kawasaki green kind of a color. Slightly different shade, but yeah, you get the concept. And this one is the white with the blue. Also comes with this blue all the way around instead of white. So blue, white with the blue, and the complete green. 3 major colors are available on this bike. So the front wheels have pretty nice disc brake. That's your hydraulics running through the brakes right there. If you take a look at the back wheels, you still get the hydraulic disc brake in the back as well. Now that's pretty common on most of our enduros or any enduro that's out there. And it's still a carbureted bike, so there's so many tweak-ups and so many tune-ups that you guys can do. Has regular forks on it. I'm not the biggest fan of the regular spring forks if you're doing off-road or if you're going through some jumps or anything like that. But just right off the bat, it's pretty heavy duty. Does its job, gets you from point A to point B, gets you jumping and wheeling on the trails or whatnot. So that's pretty solid. If you do replace it, it's very easy to do. It bolts on the bottom. You can take this out, and it has like 2 different brackets on it, or those fork holder. You can always replace these or these, and then put the bigger hydraulic forks on it too. That's mostly if you're doing off-road. If you're just commuting, cruising around, you will never have to change that fork unless it gets, rusted or anything like that. It doesn't have that rust material either. So anyways, looking at your motor, so it is a 250cc. You get a displacement close to about 226. That's on the inside of the motor. It's a 5-speed transmission, so your gear ratio is going to be standard. It's 1 down for the first gear, neutral right in between the second and the first gear. Everything else is up. So 1 down and 4 up. It's a 5-speed bike. That's your shifter right there. And it's an L-shaped GY6 engine. So this is the L, or the vertical style GY6. You can always take these cylinder heads out. This combination is about 2050 millimeters. You can always put bigger bore kit on it, so that way you get slightly more power on it as far as the engine torque goes, the low end torque pretty much. And you have a pretty nice skid plate. So they designed it for both off-road and on-road, going through country roads or going through gravels or slightly more rocky areas, stony areas should not be an issue. It's a full-size skid plate. You have pretty sturdy frames, especially in the front, welded in many points, bolted in 3 major points in the front. This splits into 2 tubes for the motor holder in the center. So if I show you the bottom of it, you can literally tell it's heavy duty and designed for all kinds of action. Your crankcase is pretty solid. It's almost like a rust-free material. And then you got your starters and all that stuff completely sealed. So that's pretty nice. That's your cockpit right here. So whenever you don't use this bike, you can always turn this off so the gas doesn't flow into the carburetor. So yeah, this is also a carbureted bike. So one of the major tune-ups that people do, they simply put bigger carb on it, get rid of this long air intake, simply put one of those uni air filters for more airflow or whatnot, and gets you a little bit faster as far as the speed goes, gives you slightly more power for wheelies or whatnot, and there's more into it. You can adjust the sprockets, you can change the gear ratios, like adjust it accordingly, or do many other stuff as well. So few other things about just the looks on it, or the major outside, or just the overall design on this machine. You get pretty nice LED light in the front. That's for your headlight. Has LED clusters for your signal lights. Transitional lighting on it as well. Same thing in the back. So the front headlights the front side lights and the back side lights are the same. And you have pretty nice brake light and pretty good license plate holder on it too. So it's completely street legal. So you do have like license plate lights underneath. And this is one of the best style lights out of the Hawk TBR, the Hawk X, and the T5. So you get the best braking light, in my opinion, on the TBR7. Other than that, they also put the knuckle guards. No other bike have that. So it's a pretty tall bike. It's not like the biggest bike that's out there, but sits up to 34 inches off the ground. So if you're wearing pants that says 32 on the length, 33 on the length, you could easily get on this bike. If your pants are about, or if you're slightly on the shorter end, or if you're about 5'8" or so, you can always adjust the, I'm about 5'8" and I'm tippy-toeing on this if I sit on it. But we can always adjust the shocks, get this lowered down. There's so many videos I've seen. There was a lady, she was about 5'2". She just changed out the seat, put a smaller fork in it, and she was rocking it. She was actually walking the bike with a wheelie on. So you guys can definitely do that as well. So it's still a beginner bike. 250cc is not the biggest motor that's out there. So even teenagers who just got their motorcycle endorsement can start riding these on the streets with no problems. We've got so many customers who've bought it from out of state, overseas, not overseas necessarily. It was in Venezuela, like we sent out a couple of bikes. And then recently, since they've improvised the bike so much, I've seen these being sold in Amazon, Walmart, and many other places. It's just overpriced, $16.95. That's about $400 more than what we sell it for. And we as a dealership, we can make sure you have the Texas tag, title, and licensing done. If you're out of state, we can simply ship out the MCO, your certificate of origin, so you can get it registered yourself without any hassles. It's gonna be super easy. We're gonna assign it to your name. We're gonna make sure your address and everything is put on. Our dealer will sign it for y'all, or our title clerk will sign it for y'all. And we should be completely fine. Other than that, there's so many other things that I wanna discuss on this machine. Please leave a comment down below if I missed out on anything, if there's anything in specific that you guys wanna know about this bike. And please feel free to visit our website. It's www.pioneerpowersports.com. And if you guys are still watching, I'm going to get into some interesting details now. So you get a copper style chain with the zinc center on it, so it's not going to stretch out pretty easy, so it doesn't fall off the sprocket as easy. Now this is what I mean. You can put smaller sprocket to pull out wheelies or get the speed high. You can put bigger sprocket to get more torque out of it. There's similar things you could do. Please look it up. Don't bite me with the smaller and bigger sprocket analogy, because there's different things you can do to it. Just make sure to search up on YouTube or look up some blogs or discussion board just to see what people do to get more power out of it. Now it's still a two-seater bike. You get leg pegs for the rider sitting in the back as well. They put a pretty sweet spot where you can lock your helmet in, and you can put all your documents in as well. There's a plastic lock to it, so you can still key it out. It has a key to it. Then your tires are made by, let me see, it's made by Carrystone. I'm trying to see okay, right here. So you get pretty nice, heavy duty wheels, both front and the back, and that's where the suspension goes. And feel free to give us a call at our store line. You can also contact me directly at 817-805-0795. If you guys have any questions, if you want to know more details about it, if you already bought this bike and if you're running into any issues, or if you want to know what you can do to get your machine performing better, definitely give us a call. Hit that phone line right now, the green button. Hey Max, how you doing? So, a few other things. Okay, so a few other things about the bike. You get a pretty nice alarm on it. That's for turn signals. So that's your right turn signal, and this is your left. If you push it in the center, it simply turns it off, and you don't hear any kind of sound on it. So motorcycle in general, especially in the United States, since we have more cars than bikes, if I show you the streets, this is Pioneer 303. We see cars like 20 times before we see even a hint of a bike. So there's so many incidents and stuff like that. Everybody does recommend you to ride it safely if you're riding a motorcycle. So they did put a sound on it. Makes it more noticeable on the streets. Has a pretty decent sounding horn to it. Your turn signals are pretty good. That's your LED headlight. Gets pretty bright even during the daytime. That's your kill switch and a starter button. So it does have a push start on it. You can always choose to kick start it just in case your battery dies or just in case your button gets damaged or anything like that. So this bike will start as long as your carburetor is clean and as long as you have gas in the tank. So we've also noticed like some of the bikes come with plastic tanks and some of the bikes come with steel tanks and all. This one has like a tin material on it, makes it slightly more secured. So it doesn't get like damaged during any kind of, let's say if you sleep back or anything like that, it's not going to get a hole right away since it's metal and not plastic. And since it's not steel, you're not going to notice any kind of rusting on it for a very long time. Has a key for your gas tank as well. Simply lock it in like this, gets in the position, catches it right there, and then you put it back on, or you can even lock your keyhole. That's what you need to unlock it. I never expected to have this question, but one guy actually bought it in New York and couldn't figure it out. He didn't get to ride his bike for 3 days just because he didn't ask around. But yeah, so that's that. And getting into further details, guys. So if you need any kinds of parts with TAO motor, you can always go to partskit.com. We as a dealer, we can easily get you the parts. If you're having trouble finding the right part on the diagram, you can give us a call or give us a call at our service department and we'll make sure to get that sorted out for y'all. If you get this bike, you can always scan these barcodes to get into taomotor.com. That's for any motorcycles or any go-karts, golf carts, or any ATVs that they make. Unlike many other brands, I don't really highlight much about TAO Motor because that's been a very renowned brand in the market. They put their name on, they've carved their name in the footstep of the market, so that's pretty solid. Other than that, they also put the USB charging point for the new bikes. Since it's 2025, everybody really wants to put a phone mount on it, use GPS navigation and whatnot. Has analog speedometer and then your gear indicator. So it tells you like if it's in neutral, first, second, third, all the way to fourth gear. That's your fuel gauge on it. Also has indication if you have headlights turned on or side lights turned on or whatnot. And a few other stuff. That's your clutch right there. And the gear shifter on the same side. So your clutch and the gear shifter is always going to be on the left side of the bike. And just to make it easy, you want to get on from the left side of the bike as well. They've also put this small rack in the back, so if you're using it for carrying a small amount of load, or if you're using it for like DoorDash or whatnot, you can always put mount a bigger bracket on it, or maybe put a rack on it and then use it for deliveries and all. Now, many people won't tell you this, but let's go ahead and discuss that right now. So TAO Motor, pretty much any motorcycle manufacturer, they won't be allowed to sell a bike just by making it. You do have to go through like EPA certifications and do many kinds of inspections and PDIs before you're able to sell it. Sometimes looking at those comments, looking at those review from people like who didn't do their assembly part right, and one other thing, guys. So we are able to ship it nationwide. So if you want to like get it shipped in a box, we can definitely get that done if you're out of state. So if you're not a Texas resident, or if you're not getting this street legal in Texas, or if you're not registering or getting a title for it in Texas, we can ship it in a box. You can feel free to put it together. There's not a whole bunch of parts that you need to put on to be able to get this machine completely assembled. So the factory has these assembled like 85%. So your motor doesn't need to be touched. You don't have to like mount the motor. You just need to connect a few things like forks, plastic pieces, screen, and wheels. That's about it, right? But if you do assemble it yourself, you definitely want to look into your assembly PDI list or your assembly guidelines. Many people miss out on that and they struggle getting this machine started, or they struggle with getting the full power on the machine. Now, we've been doing this for years, guys. Our assembly guys have been doing this for over 12 years. And we have other trainees too. Not everybody has been there for like 12 years, but we go through a pretty rough selection when it comes to the assembly guys. We don't go easy on it. We make sure everything is done. And they do, and it's a beginner bike. So beginner bike doesn't mean it's going to be like completely reliable. It is a reliable bike. What I mean is not maintenance free. So any beginner machine is not going to be maintenance free. So what they want you to do is learn about motorcycle in general. So let's say if I'm a beginner bike rider and I'm trying to put a bike together myself, I don't want to pay the dealership to put it together for me. I don't want them to take that opportunity out from me where I'm getting to learn my own bike. So that's why it's made in a universal way. So if you get into, like, let's say $8,000 bike that's about this caliber, you get the adjustments made specifically for that bike. So let's say if it's a wheelie bike, they're going to adjust the sprockets into a smaller one, they're going to adjust the gear ratio, make it a little bit tighter, they're going to change your RPM and let you do that wheelie and all that stuff. Now with these beginner friendly bikes, you have the opportunity, you have the freedom to do all of that on your own. That's why it doesn't cost you a whole bunch. It's not going to cost you $8,000, $10,000 with all that nice features from front to the back. So what they want you to do is go through your machine yourself, learn your machine, and then once you go into bigger bikes, you don't want to not know anything about so many parts on it. So this is what you get if you get it in a box. And if you're in Texas, we do your textile licensing, registration, all of that at the store. So you get an assembly box with your owner's manual, which is pretty much these. Dealer prep and checklist, I'm going to go through that as well. Installation guides, hardware box, and all that stuff that you need for the assembly. Assembly hardware bag mostly has your nuts and bolts, so they separate out everything, so it's very easy to put this together. And that's just the handguard hardware bag, because there's like more parts on it, and this is optional. Some people don't even put it on, they just get rid of it. Then additional parts like for your wheels and stuff like that. Right. And then they also put this is just for your hand guards, but yeah, they got those for overall machine. It's also going to show you, like, all the good checkpoints. That's what you want to check every ride, or that's what you want to check into whenever you're getting this inspected, or if you're just like putting it together, or if you're just riding it, you want to make sure to go over these points. Now, as long as you go over all of this, you're never going to have any issues. That's why it's called a beginner bike, because you can start learning about all kinds of motorcycles in general. Has a pretty nice tutorial on it for any kind of motorcycle, ATVs and stuff. That's your owner's manual. Just make sure to go over it. There's not a whole bunch of words. It's less than, I think, 2,400 words on it. Mostly pictures and easy boxes to figure out where what is and what you need to do to get what kind of performance on it. And I've noticed many people don't even read this ever. They just talk bad things about a bike, and they just want to watch it on YouTube. They just want to compare it with a $8,000 bike. Please don't do that. But anyways, if you have any questions, if I missed out on anything, please go ahead and leave us a comment down below. I've already left the number on there. Feel free to give us a call if you have any questions or whatnot. To buy this, you can give us a call and we'll figure out the best way to get this to your doorsteps. We're offering free deliveries for about like 30 miles from the store. We're located in 2470 West Pioneer Parkway in Grand Prairie, Texas, 75051. Now, buying option wise, we can take direct debit card, we can take cash on delivery for in-state if you do a small deposit. We can do Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, and we can finance these with as low as $0 down. TAO brand does get approved for prime lending. So if you have a good credit score that's about 650 and up, we can put you on payments that's looking like about $70 a month. If you're struggling with the credit score, or if you're having a hard time getting approved on things, do not worry, guys. We got the no credit needed application. You can do lease to own. application. You can also put it on a hold as a layaway program just in case you want to lock in the best price at the time and then gradually start paying on it. We definitely can do that as well. We got a huge selection and variety of off-road motorcycles if you want to just get a dirt bike and gradually jump into the beginner 250cc street bike. We can definitely get that done. If you're not a super beginner and if you are a super beginner and don't want to learn about all that jets and carbs and all that stuff, we can also do the Hawk 250 EFI model. This one is the DLX. You won't ever have to worry about any carb work on it or anything like that. We got several other bikes, so come check it out, guys. Feel free to visit our website. It's www.pioneerpowersports.com, or you can find the link on the description below. For this particular bike, the website, you can simply click on the icon. It's www.storename.com. And yep, that's about it, guys. We do carry helmets at the store, and we're able to install speakers and on-the-glow lights or any of that if you guys want to do some accessories on it. If you want to do it on your own, you can still give us a call. We can suggest you some good ones that's worked out for us. And yep, that's about it for now. There's so much more we can talk about it, but let's take it for a spin, see how it rides. You're going to hear the rumble on it. It's pretty sweet sounding. Not underpowered, not overpowered, a beginner style, mid-style 250cc. So come check it out, guys. So guys, we got Mr. Alex here from Pioneer Powersport. He's gonna take it on a spin. We're gonna see how it performs. So we just got this bike started. We're shipping it out of state. The guys bought it assembled, tested, and completely ready to ride. So it's gonna be louder than what it normally sounds like because it's brand spanking new. Still yet to be broken in. You can literally tell how easy it is to control this bike. It's roughly about just 330 to 350 pounds. That's just the bike itself, so it's a pretty light bike. You can easily maneuver this machine. Its turning radius is pretty nice. It just cut off one time because we literally put just a little bit of gas. We're still breaking it in, and this is the testing phase right now. See how it does on the incline. So that's you whenever you go through your speed bumpers and stuff. Whenever you're turning, that's how good of a turning you get on any enduro bike. It sounds like he's in maybe second gear. He's just not going too fast, but it's doing like very great on the pickup speed. It's about like 5'9", 5'10", I believe. And see, he's like almost flat-footed, so we can assume the size just by looking at him riding this bike. And you can always adjust the forks, adjust the shocks in the back. Starts in one go with the push start. Easy to cut through the corners. He's gonna make a big turn from the back of the building. See, he's already here, man. So yep, that's it, guys. Feel free to give us a call at one of the store lines. How do you like it, Mr. Alex? Is it a good ride?
Perfect. It's pretty powerful, actually.
See? So yeah, give us a call. Visit our website, www.thestorename.pioneerpowersports.com. We also got many other machines. We can ship nationwide, just like this bike. You can either get it in a box and ship it to your doorsteps. We'll make sure to get it assembled for y'all and test it out. So you can simply just get the bike and start practicing on it. So that's about it, guys. We also got some off-road dirt bikes just in case if you guys are not looking for anything for the streets. These are way more powerful than the Hawk Enduros or the TBRs since it's a single seater and it's a complete dirt bike. So we got many other products at the store as well. Come check it out, guys. We're open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.